Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's start with the new session. In this session, we are going to talk about how to deploy your micro front-end architecture on the Netlify, right? So we are going to use the GitHub Actions. So as you remember in my previous session, right, we created a one session that was based on the React micro front-end, right? In this session, we learned how to create the app shell and how to create the remote app, right? So the runnable solution was this, right? We develop a one app shell. App shell was containing this app host app shell, and this was coming which is a shared header as a micro front end, right? Or you can call it as a remote app, right? If I'm running my remote app or the child micro front end individually, right, individual entity, then it will be run on localhost colon 3002, which is hello from shared header remote app. Now I'm just calling this child micro frontend inside the app shell, which is running on the localhost colon 3001. So now it behave like this, right? This part is coming from the app shell, the app host app shell, and this part is coming from the child micro frontend. So this we already developed. This was the code that we have developed, right? So now if you didn't watch the session, I would request you to do watch it, because that was very important lecture before jumping into this session, because you will get to know that how to create the micro frontend architecture using the module federation. But now today the idea is to know how to do the CI/CD deployment, CI/CD, right? Continuous integration and the deployment, right? Okay, so I have already pushed my code into this repo, that is a YT micro frontend app, where I pushed my app shell and the shared header. Now the idea is to create the CI/CD file, right? CI build file, then CI deployment file for the app shell and the shared header. So let's jump into creating the CI build file, right? So these are the two folders, app shell and the shared header. So okay, what we are going to do is, inside our root folder, I am just going to create a folder called .github, right? And inside this GitHub folder, I'm just going to create workflows. Okay, so this, I'm just going to create the folder called workflows, right? Inside this workflow folder, I'm just going to create the new file, which is ci-build.yaml, right? So okay, so this file has been created. What is the responsibility of this file? Responsibility of this file is to build our code, micro frontend code, right? Once the build is being done, now we will create the other files, which is called as CI deployment file, CI app shell deployment file, and CI shared header deployment file. So what would be the syntax of the CI build file? I'm just copying it here and we'll go through the line by line code, right? So okay, so this is the ci build.yaml file, so which I have created earlier, right? The name of this ci build yaml will be mfe ci build, and what this is basically the syntax. What syntax is doing, we are using on. Okay, inside the on there is a push and there is a branches. In the branches we can define, okay, I will only pick the branches whose name is which is main or either the feature branches. Let's take an example. If you create a branch called main, then it will be picked. If you call the branch feature slash app shell or feature slash anything, right, whatever you want to create, you can. But if you will add the branch name, if you will add the feature before the branch name, then it will be picked. Okay, so the branches, inside the branches, we are taking care of the main and the feature branches. So what is the path? Path actually defines the directories which we are going to build, right? So the app hyphen shell, that is one of my directory, and the another directory is in a shared header one. Workflow dispatch, think like that. If you want to perform some manual operation on your CI/CD pipeline, right, then you use the workflow dispatch. In the next file, whatever we will create, right, when we will, as of now we are creating the one ci build.yaml, right, and we will create the deployment files. But after that, what we will do is we will create only a single file for the build and the deployment, where I will tell you what is the major use of the workflow dispatch. But now think like that, there is a two things, right? One is you did your you completed your work, you pushed into the GitHub, right? Now the build automatically started. But now a few in there was a couple of requirements, right, where you want your, once you push your code, you don't want to deploy your code, you want the manual intervention, right? So in that areas you can use a workflow dispatch if you want something to be performed by the user, not by itself, right? So then we use the workflow dispatch. Now we create the jobs. Inside the job, first job is to build the app shell. How I am building the app shell? There is a proper syntax. The runner I am using, it will be run on the Ubuntu latest, right? If there is an if condition, if it contains, suppose you are pushing your code and you are committing, right? You are committing your code, and the commit message, if it include app shell, then it will start building your code. Otherwise, if the GitHub event name is a workflow dispatch, mean to say if you are manually clicking on the button, then this build will be started. Secondly, run on the Ubuntu latest environment. Okay, from what it is meaning, what is the meaning of this environment? Here what I'm doing is I am just reading the remote shared header URL from the secret and setting it inside the remote share header, right? So this remote share header will be used later on, right? So the next step is to name, right? Name is the build app shell. That is the next step, right? Once you created your job, the job name is a build app shell. You have written your if condition. Now you put it run on what? Run on Ubuntu latest, right? That is your runner. Then you provided your environment variable, which you will be needed later. Here you are just accessing that remote shared header variable and setting it inside the remote share header, right? Now the step number, now there are the couple of steps that we need to follow. The name of the step is build app shell. Okay, what are the steps? First, you will check out your code, right? For the check out your code, what you are using actions checkout v3, right? Now you are setting up your Node.js environment. For setting up the Node.js environment, you are using the Node.js version 18, right? The next step is a verify the environment variable. Okay, I'm just reading the environment variable from the secrets. Okay, if I'm reading it here and setting it inside the remote shared header, is this environment variable is available? Yes or not? If it is available, then I will be able to use later on, right? Now the next step is to install the dependency. Okay, the working directory would be the app shell. Inside the app shell, I am just run the command npm ci, which will install my packages. After installing the packages, I will run the command npm run build. The working directory would be the app shell, right? Now the next step is, once the build is being done, check if the dist exists. As you know that once we run the npm run build, it create a dist folder for you, right? Because earlier when we in the last session, when we create the webpack config, right, we pass the output. Whenever we will build our code, right, what it do is it will create a dist folder which will contain your chunk files. So that is the same is being referred inside the ci build.yaml as well. Okay, so there are the small steps that we have followed. The name is build app shell. Then first step is checkout किया हमने कोड को, हमने Node.js का सेटअप किया. ओके, उसके बाद में अपने इन्वायरमेंट वेरिएबल को सेट किया, अपने इन्वायरमेंट वेरिएबल को एक्सेस किया, बिकॉज वी आर ऑलरेडी सेटिंग द इन्वायरमेंट वेरिएबल ओवर हेयर, राइट? उसके बाद में हमने क्या किया, डिपेंडेंसी इंस्टॉल होने के बाद मैंने अपने ऐप शेल को बिल्ड किया, राइट? ऐप शेल बिल्ड हो गया. उसके बाद में मेरी वर्किंग डायरेक्टरी क्या है, मेरी ऐप शेल है. उसके बाद में मैंने चेक किया, अच्छा अगर मेरी जो डिस्ट है वो एग्जिस्ट, चेक इफ डिस्ट एग्जिस्ट. हमने क्या किया, लिस्टिंग कंटेंट ऑफ ऐप शेल के फोल्डर के अंदर जितने भी जो भी हमारा है उसके कंटेंट को लिस्ट किया, ls-la ऐप शेल. उसके बाद में हमने लिस्टिंग कंटेंट किया, डिस्ट के अंदर के कंटेंट को लिस्ट करा दिया. सो दिस इज द वे हाउ वी बिल्ड आवर ऐप शेल कोड. द सेम स्टेप्स दैट आई हैव फॉलोड इन द शेयर हेडर एज वेल. बट शेयर हेडर के केस में हमने कमिट मैसेज शेयर हेडर रख दिया. आप कुछ भी यहाँ पे मैसेज रख सकते हो. उसके बाद में हमने गिटहब इवेंट नेम वर्कफ्लो डिस्पैच ले लिया. देन हमने बोल दिया कि रनर जो मेरा होगा उबंटू लेटेस्ट होगा. इन्वायरमेंट वेरिएबल मैंने सेम सेट किया. इंस्टेड ऑफ बिल्डिंग द ऐप शेल, नाउ आई एम बिल्डिंग द शेयर्ड हेडर. नाउ आई एम चेकिंग आउट द कोड. हमने कोड को चेकआउट कर लिया, अपने Node.js को सेटअप कर लिया, अपने इन्वायरमेंट वेरिएबल्स को एक्सेस करके देख लिया. ओके, मेरा इन्वायरमेंट वेरिएबल प्रॉपरली सेट हो गया है या नहीं हुआ है. हमने अपनी डिपेंडेंसीज को इंस्टॉल कर लिया. उसके बाद में मैंने अपने शेयर्ड हेडर के कोड को बिल्ड कर लिया. वंस बिल्ड इज बीइंग डन, व्हाट आई डिड इज आई जस्ट लिस्टेड माय डिस्ट डायरेक्टरी. सो दिस इज द वे हाउ we created the ci build.yaml. Now the question will come into your mind, okay, how you will access these variables, how the remote shared header you will access this environment variable. After within a few minutes I will set all the environment variable that is being needed for this CI YAML file, right? Because without these environment variable, if we will not set these environment variable on the GitHub, then you will not be able to perform, or you will not be able to run this build.yaml, because if you will run it and the remote shared header URL will not be available, then here in the webpack config you will not be access it through the process, then you will not able to you will not be able to access this URL here, and you will not be able to use this shared header component inside the app shell, right? Please do follow my previous session. If you didn't watch, if you are just directly jumping into this session only, then I would recommend you to please go and watch this session first. If you will watch it thoroughly, then definitely each and everything, every concept about the module federation will be cleared, right? Right now what we are going to do is we are just going to build another file which will be then a deploy app shell dot YAML. Okay, for the app shell dot YAML, what I'm going to do is deploy app shell. So basically this is in a deployment file, right? In this file what we are going to do is we are doing the same steps. So keep in mind this app is just to tell you, okay, how to build your code. I'm not using the upload action, right? So I need to build my code again in my deployment file as well. Ideally, when you will in your organization, if you have already built your code, what you will do is you will create a Docker image, you will publish your Docker image in the artifacts or somewhere else, and in the deployment file you will access your Docker image, right, and run it, right? But here the idea is just to build it, store it inside the GitHub only, right? I will come into that as well. As of now, keep in mind, in the very first instance we create the build.yaml file, we are not storing our build anywhere. This is once you will create the deployment file, then you need to again build your code. Once the code is being built, through this step we will pick this build, right? So let me go the proper walkthrough of this. The name is deploy app shell, and then there is a workflow dispatch, right? The job is a deployment job. Run it on ubuntu latest पे run कर दो. फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? फर्स्ट स्टेप है एक्शन चेकआउट v3. उसके बाद में हमने क्या किया, अपने Node.js को इन्वायरमेंट को सेट कर दो. उसके बाद में मैंने इंस्टॉल कर दिया, मैंने बिल्ड कर दिया. बिल्ड करने के बाद मैंने क्या किया, यहाँ पे डिप्लॉय किया. किसके ऊपर? नेटलीफाई. अब नेटलीफाई के ऊपर डिप्लॉय करना है तो नेटलीफाई को बताएंगे भी तो सही, भाई तेरी पब्लिश डायरेक्टरी, तेरे को कहाँ से कंटेंट को उठाना है जिसको तुझे डिप्लॉय करना है, राइट? तो वो कहाँ से उठाएगा? ऐप शेल के अंदर डिस्ट के फोल्डर के अंदर से जो भी कंटेंट है उसको उठाएगा और डिप्लॉय मार देगा, ठीक है? डिप्लॉय मैसेज, डिप्लॉय फ्रॉम गिटहब एक्शंस. अब इसके लिए क्या चाहिए होता है, हमें एक टोकन चाहिए होता है, जो गिटहब टोकन हमारा लगेगा, राइट? दूसरा हमारा नेटलीफाई का ऑथ टोकन लगेगा, और हमारा ये लगेगा ऐप शेल नेटलीफाई साइट आईडी. जब हम नेटलीफाई के ऊपर डिप्लॉयमेंट करेंगे तब मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूंगा कि नेटलीफाई के ऊपर नेटलीफाई की साइट आईडी कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं, नेटलीफाई का ऑथ टोकन कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं, और गिटहब के ऊपर गिटहब टोकन कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं. ओके, सो नाउ आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू क्रिएट द अनदर फाइल, राइट, which will be deploy, okay, deploy shared header, right, shared header dot yaml, right. अब क्या करते हैं, एक बार YAML फाइल को ही कॉपी कर लेते हैं इसकी ऐप शेल वाली को और शेयर्ड हेडर में डाल देते हैं. अब यहाँ पे हम दे देते हैं शेयर्ड हेडर. ओके ओके, ठीक है. रनर वुड बी द उबंटू लेटेस्ट. एक्शन यही रहेगा, वर्जन मेरा यही रहेगा. npm इंस्टॉल चलाना है, npm रन बिल्ड करना है मेरे को. ओके, यहाँ पे मेरे को क्या करना है, अपनी जो मेरी वर्किंग डायरेक्टरी होगी वो मेरी शेयर्ड हेडर होगी. यहाँ पे भी मेरी वर्किंग डायरेक्टरी शेयर हेडर होगी. यहाँ हम नेटलीफाई पे डिप्लॉयमेंट करने आएंगे. अब यहाँ पे हमारा ऐप शेल ना होके क्या होगा, हमारा शेयर्ड हेडर होगा. यहाँ पे हमें जो मेरी ब्रांच है, प्रोडक्शन ब्रांच मेरी मेन होनी चाहिए. डिप्लॉयमेंट फ्रॉम गिटहब एक्शन. अब इस फाइल में क्या क्या चाहिए, मुझे गिटहब का टोकन भी चाहिए, नेटलीफाई ओथ टोकन चाहिए, और यहाँ पे मुझे ऐप शेल की जगह क्या चाहिए, शेयर्ड हेडर नेटलीफाई साइट आईडी चाहिए, राइट. ओके, इसको मैं ऐसे नहीं लिखता, इसको लिखते हैं, ऐप को हटा देते हैं आगे से, ठीक है. तो मैं यहाँ पे नेटलीफाई के अंदर शेयर्ड हेडर नेटलीफाई साइट आईडी मेरी एक क्रिएट हो जाएगी, यहाँ पे मेरा नेटलीफाई का ऑथ टोकन क्रिएट हो जाएगा. सो बेसिकली वी हैव क्रिएटेड द 3 files. One is a ci build.yaml which is clear to you. I would say it should be crystal clear after this session, because in the previous session we thoroughly explained the module federation and we explained the micro frontend from the scratch. Now the idea is to understand ci build.yaml. Think like that. I am just creating a one ci file where I just follow the free few of the steps. I perform the number of jobs. My first job is to build the project. While building the project, I followed the couple of steps. First, I check out the code, then I set up the Node.js environment, then I verify the environment variable, then I install my dependency, then I build the app shell. Then once the app shell is being built, now I am checking it out. Okay, is the app shell, the dist folder is being created? If it's created, please listed down the content inside the dist. This is what we did for building the app shell. The next shared header is the same one. Instead of the app shell, we are building the shared header over here. In the deployment file, think like that. We are just using the Netlify. So these steps are common for both the app shell and the shared header. We just setting up the Node.js environment, install the packages, run the build, then we are just deploying it on the Netlify. These are the predefined steps that you need to follow. You need to use this action Netlify v1.2 and just need to tell this deploy to Netlify step, okay, my published directory is this, so please pick the content of whatever we want to deploy on the Netlify. Please pick it from the dist folder. Okay, now this is a GitHub token is being required. These are the syntaxes that you need to follow as well, right? So GitHub ka token utha lo, Netlify auth token utha lo, Netlify ki site ID utha lo. So what we can do is, I'm just doing few steps. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so the project is running over here, which I showcase you in this tab, right? Where I'm running this project in my local. So what now I'm going to do, cd, okay, dir, okay, git status. Okay, so now we have created the GitHub folder. Inside the GitHub folder, as of now, if you'll see here, okay, in my repo there is no GitHub folder, no workflows folder, right? Now I'm just going to do the .github/workflows, right? Now the idea is to push the code. Okay, git add .git commit Okay, so we have pushed the code into the GitHub. Right, now refresh it. Okay, now you can see that there is a two folder. One is a .github. Inside the GitHub there is a workflow folder, right? The workflow is containing the 3 files that we have created: ci build.yaml and deployment files for the both app shell. Now the idea is, when you create the CI/CD, right? Think like that. You just need to create a .github folder. Inside the GitHub folder, you need to create the folder called the workflows. Now, simple steps. You just need to create the build file or the deployment file, or either you can create a one file for the build, and the same file you can add inside the same file you can add the deployment jobs as well. So there is no need to create all three files. You can create a one simple file and your work is done. Right, now inside the actions, if I will take you the actions, inside the action you can see, right, there is a deploy app shell, deploy shared header, and mfe ci build. Okay, right, if I will try to build it, okay, blindly, I didn't set the environment variables. Okay, so I would say the things can break, right? It's why I didn't initiate the build. Okay, the build is being initiated. It will not work because the reason is that we didn't set any environment variable which is being required by the. Okay, this is passed because it will break, right, when you will try to run the project after the deployment, because in the webpack config file, if you will see here, right, you need this remote shared header, right, which is not available. You need the Netlify auth token, app shell Netlify site ID, and the GitHub token which you didn't created yet. The although build is being passed, but what is the benefit of building the what is the benefit of passing the build if my environment variable is not being set? So it's our responsibility to set the environment variables. So what I'm going to do, I'm just taking you to first the Netlify. Okay, so this is my Netlify Netlify application, right? So what can you do is for the deployment purpose, you just need to create the add new project. Okay, import an existing project. I'm just clicking GitHub. It is authenticated. Okay, I'm just authenticated for my personal repo. Okay, I'm just select the repo. The repo name is what it is. It is the YD micro frontend app. Okay, do I need to click again? Okay, YD micro frontend app. Okay, I have selected my repository. Right now I'm just installing. Okay, now I just need to enter my, where is my phone? Okay, okay, I need to pick it up. Okay, I have just set the MFA authentication, so I need to copy the code from which I will get in my authenticator app. Okay, let me check. Okay, so the authentication is successfully done. Now you can see that now in the start repos, you can see that okay, YT micro frontend app is being added inside the Netlify. Now click it here, right? Now you can see, right? Let's deploy your project with, ignore this team because we are on the free account of the Netlify, so that's why the digital resume team is available, right? If you want to create the different team, then you need to buy a paid subscription, right, for the Netlify. Okay, branch to deploy is a main. What is the base directory? Base directory is an app shell. First base directory is an app shell, right? So I will create a two sites, right? So first site for the app shell and the second site for the shared header. So I choose first base directory as an app shell, and then publish directory app-shell and function directory, whatever it is taking. Now I'm just deploy YT micro frontend app. Just click it over here. Now I am just now you can see that it did something for us. I'm just going inside the project configuration. Okay, I'm just changing the project name. Instead of this, the name which is given by it, I'm just choosing app shell latest. Okay, changing the project name means your project will, okay, save. I'm just saving it. Okay, now you can see we have the project ID. This project ID is called as an app shell Netlify site ID. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just taking you to the this actions, right? So when you are inside the repo, go inside the settings, right? Inside the settings there is a secret and the variables. Go inside the actions, right? Add your new repository secret, right? Make your secret it as an app underscore shell underscore Netlify site ID. Copy your site ID from here, right? This is the first environment variable that we are setting, right? Add the secret. Okay, now the secret is being set. Now go back. Okay, now you need to know that okay, your URL will be this. As of now it is not being accessible, but it will be accessible very soon, right? Ignore it as of now. Now I'm just going back to the projects. Click it away. Okay, now click it over here. This is okay, this is the projects. Okay, okay, so add new project, import from the existing project, GitHub. Let's see. Okay, you have already a YT front end. Do follow the same steps that I'm doing. Now the base directory would be then a shared header, right? In your code you can check it out. The base directory would be then a shared header, shared header. Okay, now deploy YT micro frontend app. You need to click this button. Now it gives us some name. Just go to the deploy, just go to the project configuration, just change your project name. I'm just shared header YT. Okay, shared shared header hyphen yt, save it. Okay, now what you can do is, now your child micro frontend URL is this. Okay, this URL will be needed, so keep it here. I'm just keeping it here. Okay, now what I need to do is, this is shared header one, right? The what is the okay, now the thing is, like, I just need to go to the deployment file of the shared header one, copy this shared header Netlify site ID, go to the environment variables again, add the new repository secret, paste it over here. Now just copy this project ID, do follow the same steps which I'm following, the things will be up and running. Right now just copied it. Now we have the two environment variable, one is the app shell Netlify site ID and second one is in a shared header Netlify site ID. So we have created both of the site ID inside the GitHub. Now check the next step. Okay, so the next step would be, let's take it inside the code. Okay, what we need to do is, we just need a Netlify auth token. To get the Netlify auth token, what we can do is just go inside the Netlify site, right? There is this icon, go to the user settings. Okay, there is a two-factor auth, right? No, there not a two-factor, there is an OAuth, right? Inside the OAuth, right, what we can do is we can click on the new access token. Description of your token, it should be the Netlify auth token, maybe generate token. Okay, so this will be the token that we have created, right? Now I'm just copying it, go inside the action secret, new repository secret, add the name, add the token here, and just go back. It's a Netlify auth token, right? Add a secret, right? Now you have added the secret, right? Netlify auth token is added, app shell Netlify site ID is added, shared header Netlify site ID is added. Now you need to go inside your webpack config file. Inside the webpack config file, you need a remote shared header, right? What you can do is, go back, click new repository secret, click the repository shared header. Okay, so what will be the shared header app URL, right? So once we were creating the site IDs on the Netlify, so this was the URL generated. You need to pick it up, put it here. Now behind what is being expected inside the remote entry.js, right? In your local, once you were running this your app, your URL was the http://localhost 3002. बट नाउ अगर हम इस सॉल्यूशन को नेटलीफाई पे डिप्लॉय कर रहे हैं, राइट, मैंने अपनी एक साइट आईडी बना ली है, तो यहाँ पे तो वो यूआरएल आ जाएगा जो मैंने अभी डाला है, localhost://yt.netlify.app/remote-entry.js यहाँ पे आ जाएगी. ठीक है, स्लैश. ओके, अब यहाँ पे ऐड सीक्रेट कर देते हैं. ओके, आई बिलीव थिंग्स आर डन फ्रॉम आवर एंड. ओके, लेट्स सी अगर कोई कोड कोई पुश करने वाला तो नहीं है. ठीक है, टर्मिनल git status. I believe we did all the settings on the environment only. Okay, we don't need to make any change further now. I'm just closing all the files. It will create the confusion. I'm just opening the deployment file. So in the deployment file, Netlify auth token हो गया, app shell Netlify site ID हो गई. Okay, let's go back to the actions again. Inside the actions, MFE CI एक बार बिल्ड करके दोबारा देख लेते हैं, दोबारा बिल्ड ट्रिगर करते हैं. ओके, let's wait for app to get built again. Okay, my app is building. Let's see. Okay, so the app is being built. Okay, now just going inside the deploy shared header. I'm just, as of now, if you will see that the URL is not accessible. Now deploy shared header, just go here, run workflow. Okay, I'm running the workflow. It will be started soon. Just refresh it. Okay, the deployment is being started. Let's see अगर ये सही से डिप्लॉय कर देता है हमारा. Okay, now it's time to refresh the URL. Bingo, hooray. Now you can see that our remote app has been successfully deployed on the Netlify. And the next step is to deploy the app shell, right? Go back. Now the things coming in your mind, I understand, because in the organization as well, the idea is, if you have already built something, why to build these things from the app shell? This is just a first lecture how to create the CI/CD using the GitHub Actions, right? In the next upcoming session, I will tell you, once you have already built your solution, instead of build the system again, build your code base again in your deployment file, instead of doing this, what you can do is you can use the upload right action from the GitHub Actions, and you can use the download actions right in your deployment file to download whatever you have been built and you have been saved in the GitHub storage. The retention policy that you can use as a 1 day, I will tell you each and everything in the next lecture, right? So as of now, just understand, after the module federation, this is your first step to create the CI/CD, right? It's a very easily that we have created. In the next step, you will learn that how you can use the upload action, how you can use the download action provided by the GitHub action to download your dist from the GitHub storage only. We will choose the retention policy for that build as a day 1, right? 1 day, right? But you can try by yourself as well. Once your build is being built, you can keep your build somewhere. You can create a Docker image for your build, and then in your deployment file you can get your image, you can run your Docker image inside the container. Whatever you want, you can do it. This is a start, so try few things by yourself, put it inside the comments. If you need any help, do let me know. We will connect and we will fix the things, right? Now it's time to run the complete app shell, right? In the app shell, where we were, okay, click on the deploy app shell. As of now, you will see that this URL is not accessible. Right now I'm just going here, I'm just building it. Okay, and as a promise, what I did is, in the next session we will see the upload action, download action. Okay, upload is basically used, we will upload our whatever the output is being generated, we will upload it inside the GitHub storage for the retention day as a 1, and the download action to download it. Okay, instead of rebuilding the application inside the deployment file, that we will not do it. The third thing, which I forget it, what we will do it, okay, so we will go through this one, workflow dispatch. Okay, what exactly the further use case of the workflow dispatch? Okay, how you can create your own input boxes, right, with this workflow, right? As of now, you are seeing this branch name in only, right? Once you will write the inputs inside the workflow dispatch, right, you will start seeing the input box, which will ask you, okay, do I need to build the app shell? Okay, if you will mark the checkbox as a true, then your application will be built, right? So these things that we will do in the next session as well. So as of now, okay, app shell is being deployed. Just refresh it. Okay, okay, there is an error. Okay, what is an error? What is this error? Okay, while loading header app, loading script fail हो गई है हमारी. 3 okay, I got it. http://localhost:3002 remote entry.js. There is some issue with the getting the this URL. Okay, secrets.remote header. Okay, in the webpack config file. Okay, process.env remote shared header. Okay, this URL is not being it is not getting this URL. Okay, so okay, meanwhile what we can do is we can just go here. I will fix it. Meanwhile what we can do is go inside the this ones. Okay, this was an app shell URL. Okay, no, we need a what we need this. Okay, this was the remote header, right? Okay, meanwhile what I can do is, instead of this okay, slash remote entry.js. In the next session I will tell you, okay, how to why this is not working. As of now I'm just, instead of reading it through the environment variables, I'm just passing it directly https shared yd dot netlify app remote entry dot js. Let it push quickly. Git add dot git 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 commit hyphen m updated shared header remote url git status git push. Okay, let's see if this helps us to do the things. Refresh it, go to the actions. Okay, go to the mfci build. I'm running it again. I will check it out and will come back to you definitely. So as of now I'm just hard coded this url, although this url is in a Netlify site id, because the error was just telling us, okay, it was picking the localhost colon 3000, it was not picking the remote shared header. So I need to check it out thoroughly, that why it is not picking the process.environment remote shared header. Maybe the name issue, not sure about that. I need to check it out. Meanwhile we tried this fix, if it works. Okay, I'm just, as of now it is not working. Shared header was already properly working, so no need, I don't think so. We need to deploy it again. So what we can do is we will run the workflow again for the app shell only. Let's wait for the deployment completion. Okay, it's completed. Now reload it if it works. Bingo, it's working. Okay, now you can see that my app shell is working, up and running. So I will solve this problem and will get back to you definitely. If I'll try solving it, that the session would be large, right? It will be a long video. So to reduce the size of the video, definitely I will fix it. I will, in the next session I will make sure that we will read the remote url, read remote mf, right, remote micro frontend url from env secrets only, right, secrets only. So the agenda would be this one, download action, and the workflow dispatch. This is the agenda of what? Next session agenda. So be with me in this journey. We will learn everything. We will learn the micro frontend architecture thoroughly. We will learn the deployments. We will use the, in the upcoming session we will use the AWS over here, S3 buckets over here. We will create the rate limiters and a couple of things. We will use the GraphQL. We will use the Nest.js over here. We will make this app big, right, in the upcoming session. To thoroughly understand the concepts, we will check the performance as well for this app in the upcoming session. So be with me. If you really like the session, please click it like and subscribe. Please do mention in the comment. Your comments and the likes are the motivations for me. Definitely when you ask something in the comments, it helps me to share more on what you are asking, right? So you can mention you can mention the technologies where you want me to give a session. Thoroughly I will create an example with the code only, right? It will not be just a talk. So we will create everything using the code, right? We will do a coding things, right? So be with me in this journey. We will learn a lot, right? Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Goodbye. Please click it like and subscribe. Thank you.